The angels online. The angels online. The angels. The angels. The angels online.
Good people, good people. 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 What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? This is Angel with the Angels Online, and this is season 4, episode 2. We're calling this Strength in Absence. All right, Strength in Absence. And we got some guests in here that it really relates to, and we're going to let them tell you what they want to tell you. We're going to start with my man over here. What's your name, and how does this episode relate to you?
Okay, so my name is Tyrell, and this episode relates to me because I don't have a father in my life.
Wonderful, wonderful. Talk to me, sir. Your name and how this relates to you.
My name is Tyrone, and it relates to me because I also have no father. I am Tyrell's twin brother as well.
Okay, wonderful. Twins. Are y'all identical or fraternal?
Or eternal.
Whatever it's called. My bad. Young lady, talk to me.
My name is Jemiah, and it relates to me because my biological dad's really not in the picture.
Not in the picture. Thank you so much. And ma'am, to my right over here.
I'm Brittany, and this relates to me because I had basically 2 absent fathers. So my stepdaddy and then like my biological father.
Okay.
So yeah.
All right. Miss Lady, you're to my left. Talk to me.
Hello, I'm Terry, House of Beauty. This is Cutie.
Oh, I like that.
Girl, I started saying that
I got that from Angel.
I
as
used to say it all the
kids.
time when I was a little
But
girl.
when I was 4, my father was murdered. And so I grew up without a father. Yeah, so I had a stepfather. However, but like my biological father was taken from me at such a young age. So I had to navigate life through that.
Wonderful. And I'm Angel, y'all. Some of the topics relate to me, some of them don't. This one, my father was in prison as I was growing up. He's still not active really in my life at all. So, of course, you'll learn throughout this episode that I've had mentors, help, father figures, family, friends, and everything that helped me out. So I can definitely relate to this, and I'm opening myself up to being vulnerable while these young people in here tell us about how they feel, what they're going through, and what they wish they can accomplish in order to be better citizens in the community later on, public figures and things that they can do, and how they can be better as human beings right now in this day and age. All right, so we're going to start with Terry. Can you tell me a bit about your personal experience growing up without a father?
Yes. So growing up without a father, it was difficult until I was able to navigate it on my own. I'm by faith, I believe that God is the father to the fatherless and the mother to the motherless. So by faith, I learned, that he would send help, but it was difficult because there was no physical person there, So I'll never forget like going to basketball games and I played basketball, but I didn't have a father there to like coach me after the game or tell me what I did right or what I did wrong. And I didn't realize the loss until I got older, or I would sit there like, man. And I'll never forget being at Matthew Dickey, and I saw a girl, she had a Mercedes-Benz truck. And I'll never forget like going to the bus stop to catch the bus home. And I was like, man, like, why is life like that? It's so different for us than,
Yep.
So like in those moments, I was like, it was more of the physical presence that I would have loved. And my father was really loved. He was the baby of 7. And
Was he in the military?
he was in the military. And the thing was, everybody said how much they loved him. And I didn't get to enjoy that life with him. So that part was difficult.
Thank you. Brittany, what about you?
So I had a biological father.
Okay.
He wasn't in my life. He just paid child support. That's it. Didn't claim me. So I got to know him when I had Jaden when I was 15. So talk about 17, 18. That's when I kind of tried to force a relationship with him. That didn't work. So when I turned 20, 21, tried to do that. It didn't work. So then I also had my stepdaddy who kind of raised me, but he was there, but wasn't, because I was back and forth between homes. I go with my mama, then I go with my stepdad, but mainly my grandma raised me. So, because he was on drugs too. So,
okay. Yeah. Okay. Man. Whew. What are some strengths or qualities, though, Terry, that you developed as a result of not having that physical, personal experience as a kid, not having them there?
Failure was not an option.
Mm.
I didn't allow that to be a crutch. I didn't allow that to be something that I would hold against myself, because it had nothing to do with me. So I couldn't make that as an excuse as because I didn't have one. God put 8 billion people in the world. You know what I'm saying? So like, even if I didn't have him, there was always someone that filled in. And I had I had a great stepfather at some point, and even he was toxic, but at some point, like, he really wanted the best for us. He instilled in us to go to college. He instilled in me like chastity and just really being a young lady, and then just also just responsibility. And so with some, they would say he was strict, but no, he was being a father. And so, he was the type, if you were going on a date, you had to, get to the door, and he had to come and greet the person. So I think in absence taught me that failure was not an option. And then lastly, to lean in on family. I think the reason why my cousins and our family is so close is because of his absence. So I just learned to lean on other relatives and other family members. So I think that created a stronger family bond, because my family really looked out for me because I didn't have a father.
Mm-hmm. And look here.
Well, let me kind of piggyback off of that, because
please.
my mama didn't raise me. So you got 2, I want to say, ain't shit parents.
Come on,
or 3 ain't shit parents.
You all right?
Where it was my mama, my stepdaddy, and my mom, and my my biological father that wasn't in my life. So I only had my grandmother to kind of guide me through life. But then you still need a father to give you pointers on the man perspective, as far as like, changing tires, knowing like how to
how the man's supposed to treat you.
Like that part too.
You know? Because she just said that, if you want to date, you gotta come to the house. You gotta, you know what I'm saying? And a lot of times the men are supposed to treat you, show their girls how they supposed to be treated, right? Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So you didn't have nobody to teach you. You got pregnant at how old?
15.
15. But your son is how old now?
My son 19.
And doing fine out here. Struggling without his father. But look here. What are some strengths and qualities that you develop by facing the challenges that you without having a dad?
I guess most of my strength could be, learning stuff from other people.
Hello.
Good.
Like,
from experience.
I have a lot of male friends, so I ask a lot of questions from my male friends, how to kind of guide me in certain ways as far as like a man's perspective. I mean, there weren't too many men in my family, so I really didn't have a lot of guidance. But as far as strengths, my strengths will come from my grandmother.
Okay.
How to value myself as a woman, and how just respect myself, learn how to handle my finances and all that. But that all came from a woman, so she was more like a mother to me. So.
That's good. Oh, I love that. Look here, I'm like Terry. Failure wasn't an option. I wasn't gonna have an excuse or make an excuse because he was not there. And the fact that she mentioned sports, and I talked about it earlier. Those basketball dads that you saw coming and coaching, and they was coaching us too. They was coaching me a lot. Like my best friend, they were coaching me because I didn't have my mom didn't play basketball. She didn't know nothing about, she could cheer in the stands, like all the other moms. Yes. But, as far as just coaching and doing things like that, it was like, nah, I ain't finna be a statistic. You know, I'm not finna be like everybody else. I ain't going out like that, you know. And even when he got out of prison, I think I was 15 and I said, I don't need to see him. I'm fine. I didn't care. I did not care to see him. I didn't, and I'm not gonna lie, because so many people had been around, and like she said, you know, being around the males in my life or whatever, they weren't, and I grew up on my mom's side, really, they weren't abusive towards me. They weren't any of that nature, you know. You know, my Uncle Victor, you know, that's my cat. He don't take off that necklace, you know. And then even as I got older, it was like, I'm with Porky, you know what I'm saying? My cousin, who that's my brother. You couldn't tell me nothing, you know what I mean? And so just being around them and just having all of that, and my godfather being around him, you know, growing up whenever I was with, you know, Danielle and them, you know, so when you see positive males in your life, you know what the expectations should be. You end up setting those expectations like, nah, you're not finna do that. Nah, you're not finna treat me like that. I know better. You're not finna, I watch how this man move and I watch how this man move. And then as you get older, what do? You learn from perspective from other men. And then you learn to think for yourself by getting that extra education. She mentioned pushing college and all those other things, you know. There's only a few of us that went to college, you know. Yeah. So in my family, on my mom's side, who I grew up with, you know what I'm saying? Then as I got older, I learned I got people on my dad's side, and, you know, my cousin's the mayor in Mississippi. You know, all these people that I get to meet being older and stuff like that. And so, and then her dad's side, you know, they're positive advocates and everything, role models to her grandpa. And, you know, so, I mean, strengths just come with all of that. You know, all of that play a big role.
But you kind of focus on more on men, but it's also the absence of our mothers and what our mothers have to teach us.
Correct.
You know,
we talked about that earlier. Being a woman.
Yeah.
All of that teaching.
Valuing your body and knowing how to be a lady and all that stuff. Like, my mama didn't teach me none of that crap.
And I said that for them boys, you know. Growing up, you hitting puberty. That's something that I can't teach you. You know, Miss Ramsey could be around, but I can't teach you how to be a man. I can't teach you. I don't know what you're thinking. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I just don't know, because that's not my role. You know, to have a dad and teach you how you talk. You know what I'm saying? I can. Yeah. We can tell you certain things or whatever, but
I want to add something.
We're not going through that type of body changes and everything else. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Go ahead, Terry.
I taught values. So, like, because I'm in education, I've learned that I probably can't teach you the skill of how to, you know, certain things that men, but I teach you values, how to respect yourself, you know, how to set a plan, how to be a man. Because one thing that, like she mentioned, like when you, whether it be a female or man, a female or male, there are just certain, puberty, you know, respecting yourself. You know, class, setting boundaries. What are boundaries? You know, with other people, you know, chastity, not, you know, giving yourself to everybody mentally, physically, emotionally, sexually. Like, those are things that, like she said, that you learn from other people. And there were some young ladies, I'm like, man, I like how she carried herself. And it was envious because you were trying to figure out what you were missing, you know? And then you realize, like, man, like, there is a syndrome where it's a fatherless syndrome. And when I started looking at it, I started to say, okay, how can I denote that? Or how can I, like, stop that from happening to where I feel it? And a lot of it was, like, really feeling your feelings. You know? Feel your feelings. Like, you know, I realized grief was really something I had to deal with. And so you can grieve that, but you don't stay there.
Correct.
Don't stay there. That's where you find your strength, your loss. I always, you know, a lot of my friends who didn't have father, I said, man's rejection is God's protection. It's probably a reason why that person wasn't in your life. Because anything good come from the man above. So if he takes something away, it's not meant for you to have it. He don't just take away stuff, if that makes sense. So that's what I would, you know, definitely share.
I'm going to ask y'all, and it's true, because I can come in a classroom, like the same stuff she's saying, that's what I say in classroom, right?
Yeah.
You know, being respectful, carrying yourself, your character and your name. I don't care if you're not here. You, Tyrone, You, Tyrell, don't come up here twins and get to confuse me and have me look here.
Shit.
You, Tyrell, you, Tyrone. All right? That's what we gonna remember. Remember, we don't know your daddy.
Mm-hmm.
But how you carry yourself is what's gonna make it. You know what I mean? And because your character and how you carry yourself, that's how you caught my eye, right? That's how these were two of my kids that I adopted for Christmas. They caught my eye, didn't even know it. I got their mom's information. They had no idea. But your character and your name is all you have. Very respectful. Yes. Very humble. Don't got much, but you wouldn't be able to tell because they still do what they want to do. Loves art. You know what I mean? So it's a lot of things. You never know who's watching you. And you never know what you got coming. So you always treat people right. Have empathy because everybody's story is not the same as mine, hers, or yours. But believe me, they have a story. So I'm going to ask y'all a question. Tyrell, I'm going to start with you if that's okay.
That's fine.
All right. What challenges have you faced in your life due to the absence of a father figure?
Okay, so a lot of challenges that I face is like not knowing how to be a young man because I didn't have a father in my life to teach me how to be a young man.
Mm-hmm.
Because, it's playing sports or like having a man to tell you when a man is right or when a man is wrong. Because a woman don't always know when a man is right or wrong in certain situations. So when it comes to like a father pulling you to the side and saying, hey, son, you can't do this, or hey, son, you should pursue this because I feel like this is what's best for you at the point you're at right now. We didn't really have that option.
Mm-hmm.
So it was really hard to grow up and see my friend getting picked up by his dad at like games or like school events, like things like that. And it's like, I could have had that, but I didn't have that.
Mm-hmm. That's huge. That's huge. That's huge. What about you, Tyrone?
Well, I basically agree with what Tyrell said and relate to that a lot. Because without a father, I can't really understand what any boys or young men like that much.
Mm-hmm.
How they feel, what's right or wrong. I can basically say what he said and again, because that's basically what I was about to say as well. Without a dad, there was like nothing you could learn besides like from other people that could support you, but not how a dad would.
Mm-hmm. Oh, y'all don't make me cry today. Lord Jesus, I'm gonna get myself together. Hold on. All right, Jemiah, talk to me. I know you had some recent challenges. What challenges have you faced in your life due to the absence of a father figure?
Some challenges for like example, I want to take piggyback off what Miss Terry and Miss Brittany said, like not having a father to show me how a man deserves to treat me or how I should have my worth in a relationship or something. But I'm glad that my stepdad Earl had stepped in and taught me that. But sometimes it kind of hurts knowing that I actually have a real dad out there. And sorry, I'm.
It's okay.
I need tissue too.
It's okay.
Yeah. Good people.
It's okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is human beings in the building. The angels online, strength in the absence. These kids have strength coming to talk to us today. We got strength. I'm still trying to get my life together over here with this paper.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's all right. We gonna take a second. I'm gonna drink some water.
Go ahead. There's a lot to talk about.
It's hot in here.
Yeah.
It is hot in here. Ethan, we hot in here. I got to talk to my engineer for a second, y'all. Because I think the heat making my eyes water.
Okay, bring us some tissue, please.
Can't bring some tissue or something. Can we get some tissue in the building?
There's onions in the room.
Somebody was cooking or something in here, and look here. It's real life.
Yeah, this
emotions. Is reality.
It's just emotions.
This is reality.
Because it's built up.
Yes, correct. It's built up, and you don't get to talk about this type of stuff, do you?
No.
You don't have these conversations, and that's what the Angels Online. That's what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about these things that affect us, and it affects our growth. It affects us mentally, emotionally, and even physically. It can. Shoot. I ain't gonna look here. Agree. You done for a second? You got something else? Because you know what? Take your time. It's okay.
Okay.
It's all right.
We got
We
a lot
are
of
human
time.
beings around here. This the Angels Online. Voice of the unheard. Come on in. Come on in. Thank you so much. We have
My
great
baby right
people in here.
Yeah.
Yeah, pass that to the
Thank
young
you.
man's.
I'm fine.
I'm
Look,
good.
I ain't gonna.
Already
Give me attention.
trying,
I don't
I ain't
need
too
none.
good.
trying to make
I'm
sure I'm
totally
good.
Fine.
I'm putting them right here. All
It's
right, all
fine.
right. Amen. Amen.
Yeah.
We here. We are here. We are gathered here today to be great. What other challenges you face, Jemiah? What about school? How's that school? School's good. Is getting better.
Oh, I had to get myself together real quick.
You all right? You all right?
Yeah, I got it.
Better out than in.
What about your? Come on, tough
Well-
Tyrell over here. I'm gonna call him that. And we getting it together, so I'm gonna put it on you, Tyrell. Okay.
I'm fine. Yeah.
In what ways has the absence of your dad, and you can answer it then, Tyrone can, because you guys are in kind of the same situation or whatever, because you're twins. So, in what ways has the absence of the father influenced your confidence, self-esteem, or sense of identity?
So what it shows is growth, because when you don't have a dad there and you're a young man, it's surrounded by girls all the time. Two older sisters, mom. I've mostly seen it like my aunties and my grandma most of my life. So, when it comes down to can you become a man or are you developing to be a man, it's like maybe not all the way, but you can see that I've grown into some kind of man in some ways.
Mm-hmm.
It may not be in the ways that you want it to be, but it's in the way I want it to be.
In the way that you know.
Exactly.
Good. Good. So your confidence, your self-esteem is just your sense of identity. You working. You're figuring it out yourself.
Exactly.
You're figuring it out yourself.
A lot of times when you're around like other like men or like older men, they try to, what's the word? They try to like say, oh, you shouldn't do this or you shouldn't do that, or like they try to belittle you.
Mm-hmm. There you go.
So it's like when you're around older men, like being young boys like us, it's kind of hard because they try to like break you down or like say certain things about you.
Mm-hmm.
But then it's like, I'm proud of who I am. It doesn't matter what you say because you weren't there for me. You're not my father, so you shouldn't say these things about me because you don't know me.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just that.
There you go. There you go. You got you look here. That's some confidence there. And you keep that up. Because times are changing right now. And people that are older, much older, even older than us, they have to adapt to the changes. They have to adapt to the voice. I don't agree with my mom or some of my family members because I'm not at that level anymore. I've made myself
who you are.
A bigger and better person. I need to go to school. I'm going to learn. I'm going to open to perspective. I'm looking at the world. I'm going to see things. I'm learning culture. I'm learning diversity. All these things matter. They matter. And sometimes people who don't believe in all those things, they still stay where they are. Then they'll take somebody like you who might be vulnerable and they feel like that you don't know. And they want to belittle you and tell you the way they want to see it or whatever. But I'm glad that you're seeing things how you want to see it. And you're accepting yourself to grow. You're talking about growth
I feel
here.
like everybody should,
Mm-hmm. Everybody should.
You gotta be more open-minded.
Just like you just said, like you did these things and people around you were trying to belittle you and keep you at a certain point, but you did it because you feel like, I want to do this.
I want more.
Right, I want to pursue this because I feel like that's what I would do, so that's what I'm gonna do.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I want more out of life. I'm not gonna sit back like everybody else.
And not having a father isn't gonna stop me from pursuing what I want to pursue.
Good.
It don't got nothing to do with me.
You gonna try to be great regardless. No, you gonna be great.
Yeah.
We take that try out of there. All right. Look here. The way you're speaking.
It's just determination. If I'm determined to do this, then I'm gonna do it.
There you go.
That's all it is.
No, there you go. Talk to me, sir.
Yeah, basically I can agree with what he said. Like mainly,
it's
like the confidence and like I can basically say the same thing. You're not at my father's place. You can't tell me what I could do with my own life. Because you got to remember, I'm still my own person. I could do whatever, like, put my mind to.
You love art, right?
Yeah, and that's what no one's going to stop me from doing. No matter how people, like, try to treat people, like, how they try to treat me or how they try to make me change, I'm not doing that.
Good. And he don't get in no trouble in school. His kid is a good kid right there. And he loves to draw.
Yeah.
That's it. That's what he loves to do. He went to St. Louis Artworks. It was the best field trip he had.
He wants to go to that. What was that school called? That
Grand Central
See-
Arts Academy.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he got accepted there, but mom didn't want him to go there after the shooting. With the teacher and the student that had
Oh,
killed.
Central. That's Central VPA.
Yeah.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, he got accepted there. He wants to go there to practice his art skills and do something with it, but he couldn't do it because of what happened. She didn't want him.
She was scared.
Well,
as
those
a
are two
mother.
different schools. Though.
Yeah.
One is Central Vision Performing Arts, and
Yeah.
the Grand Central Arts Academy
Yeah.
is a charter school that's on
Yeah.
Grand. So
I
those
think
are
you said the
two.
wrong one.
Yeah,
so
I already
they're,
said
they're
that.
So
two
you
different.
meant Central VPA.
Yeah, that's what I'm.
Okay. Oh, because it's a public school. They go.
Yeah, one.
He's
one
going
is
to,
at
but you're
Magnet.
going to Career Academy, right?
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Well, right down the street is Grand Central Arts Academy,
Mhm.
and if you enjoy
Mhm.
art,
Mhm.
you know, we talked about college. That's gonna open doors for you because
Yeah.
they specialize in
Mhm.
art. So as a young man, you may have to advocate for yourself
Mhm.
and say because you love art, otherwise you're gonna be sitting in Career Academy, and that's what they're gonna tell you what track you're gonna take as a freshman, and you're gonna be in class drawing, and they want you to go into something else. So
engineering. They
Yeah,
got a
you-
program there.
yeah, they have
actually,
programs.
for
So I
coding
mean,
stuff like that.
just
whatever.
consider it,
Yep.
you know, but just
Pursue your dreams.
And you mentioned something about being a man. Like manhood isn't defined so much as like being like big and burly and
Oh no, not at
yeah,
all.
I know. So when you said as you define yourself, you know, sit back and think, okay, what is a man? Like not necessarily what does a man do? What does he say? How does he act? How does he respond? Because some men think that because I lash out or because I'm big and I can yell loud that's a man. It's not.
That's not a man at all.
No. So, you know, as you're growing, just seek out mentors that really can hone
Yeah.
that in and say, okay,
It's
this
like-
is what a man is. And, you know,
Yeah, as long as you find someone who they don't act like your father, but they show you things that a man would do or a man should do.
Mentors, huh?
Exactly. Yeah, like I
wait, can
mentioned.
you elaborate on that? What you mean, like, act like your father?
So, we're in a program where we're mentors in the mentorship program. So we help, watch the younger ones, make sure that they're okay, and things like that. And there's the actual men in the mentorship. So, like there's one named Mr. Sherman. I feel like he was a great mentor because he teaches. He doesn't just keep it professional. He knows when to sit down and actually talk. You say, hey, you're in the wrong, or hey, just sit this one out, or like maybe sometimes y'all have a long time where y'all could talk about it and speak about it, and it's like maybe you're upset, that you didn't have a father in your life. I didn't have one in my life either, so it's like because we were, sometimes you gotta have a conversation with a man and see how it was for other grown men who also didn't have fathers. So y'all could relate on that and build.
That's what the Angels Online about.
Right.
Come on.
I mean, you build online from that note.
Good.
Instead of friendship.
Instead of being yelled at like.
And
when you say somebody act like their dad, like you know how maybe your dad or maybe somebody that came around in your past or whatever. You don't need to say no names or nothing. How somebody probably talked to you or something, be like, wait a minute, But there's difference in the way that man talked to you. It's all about the rapport and the communication and the relationship building.
Exactly, like I said, yeah.
It's huge. It's huge. And sometimes, like she just mentioned it, some will come out and say certain things or, think yelling and being big and bad and da-da-da, and that's a turnoff for you because you ain't never had that. And so you looking like, wait a minute, Mr. So-and-so don't treat me like that. He sit me down, he talked to me, which is a wonderful thing. And that's why sometimes you see the difference between relationships with parents, actually, because they sit down and they talk to their kids and they have that and they give them that voice. But kids know to respect, it's just, they can have that openness. And that's how kids, how they can do that. I really appreciate you saying that.
Talk to me
talk to me,
Yeah.
not at me.
Yeah. Jemiah, what ways has your father influenced your self-esteem, confidence, or even a sense of identity? Negatively, positively, same thing. The absence of your dad. How's that?
I mean, he kind of, it's like not having a father kind of taught me lessons. Like,
Mm-hmm.
cause I always used to think, man, I don't got no father. Like, it's my fault. Like,
Uh-huh.
so it's
Yeah.
like my mom and my stepdad always sit me down like, hey, it's not your fault. He
Mhm.
chose to not be a part of your
Yeah,
life.
look here.
It's not your fault at all.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to say that's one of the hardest things. And me and my brothers, we all have different dads. So it's like they dad wasn't as far as mine. Like he went from Memphis to Texas. So it's like he just keep moving further and further. But like my brothers, they was closer to see their dads, and like I'll see them go with their dads. I'll be like, man, I haven't been with my dad in who knows how long. So it's just like my stepdad really kind of filled in that piece, just have talks with me, taught me how a man's actually supposed to treat you, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
I want to piggyback off what she said,
Talk to me.
because when she says that, you know, that her brothers how they have different dads, I can piggyback off that because we have different fathers than our sisters, and our sisters, they still have their father in life. He still come, you know, talk to them, pick them up. They go to their house, and it's like, you know, I want to do that someday. You know, I wanna spend time with my actual father, not a man my mother's talking to, or an uncle or a mentor. You know,
Is your
You-
father living? I'm sorry.
yeah. Actually, I don't even know. I'm gonna be honest, because when I was first born, my father found out that one of us was born. He was found with it, but when he found out he was having twins, he just up and left. He didn't say nothing. He was gone before I was even born when he found out she was pregnant. So it was harder. And with my sister's father, he isn't like the best father, but he's there for them.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, it's hard to see my sister's father come by, you know, some weekends, or like I see her other siblings on her father's side, and I meet her siblings and her family and his wife, and it's like I could have this too, but I didn't have that because my father didn't want to be there for me. But
he lousy. They lousy. Don't worry about it. Ain't your fault.
yeah, I know it wasn't my fault, but
Look
at
here.
the end of the day,
Make me sad.
it's okay.
Mm.
But at the end of the
It's not
day,
okay.
when you learn from it and you grow from it, it just becomes a thing of the past. So it's like when you think like, hey, or you, like when you sit down and really think about it, like, why would he not want to be there for me? You know, because my father actually has other kids. He has 6 kids. We're his 2, and he didn't care. He went with his other 4 kids with a different woman. So sometimes
So y'all the youngest?
we don't even know. We don't know
Oh.
kids.
It
Okay.
gotta be a deeper
Right,
rooted
but
issue at hand, because
so
it's a story behind
yeah.
that
So
story.
when
Always.
so when you really like sit down and think about it, it's like I want him to be there for me too. I don't want him to just up and leave. Like sometimes, you know, when you think about it, it's like I want to have a father to talk to me when I need someone to talk to, or when I need guidance from a man, not just a woman all the time.
Oh yeah.
So it's like talking to uncles. They're not there every day for you. They don't say, "Hey son, get up in the morning, you're forgetting something," or get dressed. It's like when you
got the juice. You all right? You got it.
I'm not crying. I'm not doing that.
Don't worry about that.
Nothing wrong with crying.
Trust us.
But you know
There's
what? Like
never
that's
nothing
where,
wrong with
as like
crying.
a father, they'll tell you it's okay.
Exactly.
It's okay. Like I promise.
I
It's
promise
okay to
you.
let it out.
I
Because I
promise
see it
you.
in your eyes.
Okay.
And
But the thing is,
it comes out. Like
it doesn't. The thing is, when it comes to bringing up fathers or anything like that, I've never cried. When I was younger, I used to cry about it all the time.
You angry? Are you more angry instead?
Yeah, it's not really like a sadness. It's like a, I wouldn't say hatred, but
Disappointment.
yeah.
I like it.
It's like,
Good language.
it's like, how would you not be there for me, but you have other kids and a whole nother woman, and there's other kids in your life, but you don't want to be there for them.
Mm-hmm.
I want you to, instead of thinking of it like that, I want you to say, like, why was he removed? You know, sometimes people leave wounds. And so we can't assume that they went and on to be happy and lived happily ever after, because it's not like that. It's not like that. And I always try to tell my students who do have losses that I guarantee you there's not a day that goes by that he don't think about y'all. It's like, but how do you reappear after you've been gone? You see what I'm saying? So don't always think of it as, okay, this person is gone and he's not. And I'm not saying it's okay. What I'm saying is don't allow that anger, don't allow it to build. However, what I've learned people say is when they became men and when they become husbands and when they become fathers, like, I never leave my child. You ever seen?
You know, you would never want to.
Yeah,
because you know what it feels like.
Exactly.
Yes,
In the position that you in it, like, if you become a mother and it's like, you know, and not having a father, you want to make sure that your birth, you know,
like Brittany, right?
Right.
She got her son, and she take care of that boy.
Exactly.
She know what it feels like to not have her biological mama right there, raised by her grandma. She knows what it feels like to have even her stepdaddy be worth a lot, and her biological father not there. And she takes care of her son Jaden because she know what it feel like. I'm not leaving my baby.
You wouldn't want to. After the pain that you had growing up, dealing with school and home and
That's
being
your
around
pain.
other families.
That's
Exactly.
what you're telling us. That's
it's
your
like
pain.
it's like other things around you, and it's like, I want this for my kid. I don't want my kid to feel how I felt at such a young age.
Mm-hmm.
I want them to grow and be healthy and not have to worry about, oh, where's daddy, where's mom? You know, I want to be there for them.
Yeah.
Hug them, talk to them when they need me. When they want to call me, I'll answer the phone. You know, I just want to be there.
Those are all the things that bother you right now that you don't have that affects you, right?
Yeah.
Understood.
You ever thought about like kind of writing a letter to your father and express
You must
how you
have.
feel and what are your thoughts, and if you know he was in your life, how that would be?
Okay, so I have thought about it, but not a letter. I've never thought about a letter.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes, you know, knowing the things that I know now, it's like, sometimes it's like, why can't you just, you know, like my mom, she lost contact with him a long time ago, but she seen him before, like after that. Like she saw him a few months ago. Neither of us were there that day. And it's like, sometimes I wish, what if I was there that day? What if I wasn't to confront my actual biological father?
See him for the first time.
Right, with his blood in me. And it's like, how would I react to that? How would I talk to him if he, you know, see how he will react to me and how I've grown as a person?
What you look like.
Exactly what I look like, how I am, how I act, how I talk, how I walk, how I sound. And so it's like, maybe I would have cried. Maybe I would have lashed out, you know. But you won't know until that day comes.
There you go.
So it's like, to this day, I'll never know how that feels because that hasn't happened to me. But when that day does come, I'll figure out what happens
at that time, huh?
Yeah, right.
We can't predict the future and our feelings.
Right,
we
really
still
can't.
Like you said earlier, you still growing.
Exactly.
Right? You're still growing.
I gotta
Work
go.
on that letter.
Work on
that way when you say him, say, look,
you know.
Read this.
Ninja.
Even if it's a poem,
Look
because
here.
I write a lot of
Even
my
if you
feelings
start
in poems.
when you put your, you know, you say your feelings on here because you don't get to talk about it. Even journaling, you know, that's the stuff that we could talk about. Like, man, I don't care if you mad. Like, man, why you ain't here? I just seen John and them daddy pick him up, and you ain't here. But don't worry about it because guess what? I got picked up and da 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 da, and I had the best Christmas, and I had to, you know, put that in and date it. My great grandmother, we have her book when she passed away last year. We have her book she dated. She wrote in it, you know, and she died at 93. She was journaling all her life, writing it down, right? Jehovah's Witness, never mad, never no nothing. She always just say, Jehovah handle it. And she lived to be 93, so she was here during the Mississippi, like during all the civil rights movement that got us sitting right here right now. Yeah. Right? Yeah. She watched all this stuff and she wrote. So, you know, nobody's too good. And I want you to listen to the Toxic Masculinity episode of season 3. All those men, I got mentors for you. Don't worry about it.
And can I say one thing?
Yeah, of course.
If you ever see them, you're ever face to face, extend grace. And the reason why I say this is because 9 times out of 10, he also didn't have a father. So I'm not saying feel sorry for him. I want you to think about that. Normally, in those cases, that person didn't also have someone that was there. So the last thing you want to do, just extend grace. The same way if I messed up, and I'm not saying it's okay.
Of course, yeah.
What I'm saying is just extend grace and give yourself grace. Give yourself grace. Give yourself grace.
Something I'll add to that. They might not have had a father, or there was abuse. Yes. There was the wrong teachings, all these things. Yeah. So, for example, Jemiah has grandparents, right? They are all right. They are right to you?
Yeah.
He got his mom and his daddy, you know? And so that's an example that's different than that one. You see what I'm saying? How at time, she's got him. He had a daddy. And his daddy been around, you know, Jemiah used to spend summers with her grandparents, not her daddy. You know, they can only extend what they can. You know what I'm saying? You know, Sonia's a mother. She don't bother nobody for nothing. She take care of it. Yeah. She grind, work whatever she got to do, and make sure she go to camp, make sure she go out of town to play, make sure she do all of that. You know, so you don't even know them. That means you don't know a whole side.
Yeah.
You don't know anybody. You could be, you know what? Pause. I just read how Karl Malone had a child.
Yes.
And then he finally, he denied that child while in the league, right? But come to find out, his other 2 kids, he had them before that one, and they had to be, they went through paternity testing too.
Yeah.
So you got all these kids out here.
Yeah, running from responsibility.
And you're running from responsibility.
Yeah.
Right? And so you look at it and you say, man, but it was years later. It gave grace. Him and his son, best friends, went on a hunting trip. His daughter was in the WNBA. You out here running from these kids who got these athletic attributes from you, probably. Yeah. You know, running from responsibility, and you acknowledge, but he acknowledged it publicly. But you look at it and you like, man, I'm like, man, you had kids at 17, 18, you've been ready to be a pro, and you got these kids out, these babies out here, you know, denying them. So you think about what it feels like, and that's something that you understand, right? Yeah. I'm telling you about, no matter how much money you got, he's a celebrity and was doing it, right? So I like to give examples in different perspectives, different ways of how things happen or whatever. Yeah, she has her grandparents. You have no clue who yours are. Yeah. And if they knew who you were, she said, give grace, they probably would take you. They probably would be there. You know, not take you, but be there. You know, take care of you.
And I'm gonna add one thing, like, I always wanted to make them proud. Mm-hmm. I'll never forget graduating from college, and this is gonna make me cry. All right, but I'll never forget sitting there, and you know, my stepfather came to my graduation, and my father's people came to graduation, and so you're not really supposed to have your phone during the ceremony. My phone rang, and it was my auntie, and she was like, "Your father would be so proud of you right now." So at the end of the day, if I'm going to do anything, I'm not going to give myself any excuses. And when they see my name, what's your last name?
Moldry.
When they see my name, if he ever see my name, I'm going to make myself proud, and I'm going to make him proud.
Mm-hmm. You're going to see my name.
When you see me again.
And your character is all you have. Because at the end of the day, he know what your mama last name is.
Yeah.
Oh, so he know what your last name is.
Listen, I got a baby. I know what her father's name. I know his father. I know him. I know my child.
I know
and if
twins.
he walked up to you, he would see you. But guess what? Head up, chest out. And I tell my daughter, I said I could take you to a lot of places, but heaven ain't one of them. So you got to get there on your own with your own character. 1 and 2, your gift gonna take you places, but it's your character that's gonna keep you there. Mm-hmm. So you have good character. You carry yourself as young men. You be the opposite of everything because you don't know what type of person he was. You just don't know. So you carry your head high when you walk into that high school. You make valedictorian twins. Everything. You can be 1 and 2, Val and Sal. Go on, let your light shine when you get to high school. Art, everything, whatever you touch, let it be great. Mm-hmm. Excellence is what you walk in. Mm-hmm. Every day, walk in with excellence. And you say the absence of, that's why I walked in excellence.
That's why this episode is strength in absence.
Yes.
We building around here.
Yeah.
Nothing going backwards. I'm gonna ask this for anybody can say this. What challenges have you faced in your life due to the absence of a father figure? What challenges may have came? You talked about some. You could tell us another one. Tyrell said, "I'm not shy. I'm gonna tell you because I got a lot on my mind, definitely. And I love it."
Yeah, but something that like really didn't work. You know how like you see dads with their sons going to, having father-son days.
Ah, okay. Father-son, like dances, father-son days. Oh.
Yeah, or like you go out somewhere, you see a dad and his son doing stuff, and it's like, I want that too.
Yeah.
But I can't have that.
That's okay.
Exactly. And that's totally okay.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, don't nobody know you better than yourself.
Yeah. That's all right.
If you can grow off of it and not hang on to it, you can be the best version of you. That's all it is.
Good. What challenges you got?
What challenges I got without a father? Well, there's a lot, but most of those have been I have found a solution to those, and the problems were like trying to be like who I am like right now, trying to keep myself from like going towards a bad I don't know,
going down a bad path.
Yeah, and not trying to be like the person that has left me behind, but like the person that I wanted to be back then. Not like back then, but like the person I want to be for the best. Mm-hmm. And back off what Tyrell said, is basically like no other man could do what I could do, because the only person that I really know is myself.
Mm-hmm. You don't know nobody else but you. And so the challenge is just making sure you stay on the right path and doing the stuff that you want to do, focusing on your art and everything, and not looking at the past, not looking at the fact that you don't have a dad, but, just trying to move forward and be the best version of you.
Yeah.
Okay. Jemiah, talk to me. Jemiah.
Grab a tissue.
Yeah, he's crying and stuff.
It's okay.
I know it is, because look at her. I'm with all of it. I'm for all of it. Come on, baby.
So I kind of want to piggyback off what you said, because like I can kind of relate with going down a bad path, because like not having my dad, I had like a missing piece, and it's like I was making bad decisions, but when I finally addressed him about it,
addressed your dad?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, over the phone.
Okay.
So
I heard that.
You better
Advocate standing up for yourself.
Voice of the unheard. You better. He gonna hurt me today.
And so, like, of course, I broke down because I had all that built up anger. Because, I only spend summers with my grandparents. Like, why you not here? Like,
yeah.
It's like, he had more kids with another lady too. So it's
that's what he said.
So it's like, I see how you treat them, and it's like you give, especially when I go down there. It's kind of like he kind of give more of their attention towards them and not me. Like
in Memphis.
No, in Texas. Like, if I go see him.
Gotcha.
And so it's just like, I'm your firstborn.
Yeah.
You live 8 hours away and you barely give your attention to me.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's just like all that I didn't dealt with. It's like all that anger. And when I finally talked to him about it, it's like came out, and it's like, but ever since then he been making more contact, and I made sure of it, because it's like at the same time, like my mom said, don't try to force no relationship with him. If he don't want to be in your life, that's him. So it's just like I've been kind of let him call, or sometimes I'll text him, check up on him. Sometimes he'll do the same thing for me. So lately, I just been focusing on basketball, and my career ahead of me too, because I'm not gonna let all that just stop me, and I can't use it as an excuse, because I got my
Because you want to be
stepdad,
the
I
best
got
version of
other
yourself.
father
Amen.
figures in my
Still
life.
there.
Yeah.
Still in the house. Look here. I stopped by to visit. Her stepdad asked 10 times where his baby was at. About 10 times. Hey, man, she's still down the street practicing. She ain't back yet. Where is my daughter at? He's looking for his child. Where is she at? But me doing what I do for a living, for me, that's important. I seen it. You know, I might not say nothing to him, but I thought that was so great. You know, just listening to Brittany talk about, you know, how her stepdad wasn't no good.
Let me kind of clear
doing
this up,
yeah,
because
come
I
on.
don't want to say that he wasn't good at all, right?
Yeah, no,
So
yeah,
I'm gonna,
come on.
I'm kind of, because he did teach me how to change a tire.
And I'm
He
gonna
told
move
me
that to you. What
that
challenge this question?
he taught me how to change a tire. My stepdaddy taught me how to do things that a man would. Just in case if I don't have a man in my life, I need to be able to take care of myself. That is what he taught me, and I'm grateful for. Now, kind of let me, and I'm gonna go a little deeper, and I don't like sharing a lot of my stuff.
Come on, let's talk about it.
But number one, he taught me how to change a tire. He taught me about, like, you know, as far as like men and how they out there, but he didn't go too far in depth, because my stepdaddy was abusive. I had to deal with that as a kid, watching my mama get abused, and then you know, I was raised with my grandma. So then he had other kids with my mom. So that's where the story kind of get like real funky.
What's your biological mom?
Yeah, my biological mother. So they had kids together. Once he found out that I wasn't his biologically, then he didn't. This is the part that I never understood, why he didn't really have that close relationship with his biological kids versus having a closer relationship with me. Every Saturday we used to go to IHOP over there off of Brentwood. Every Saturday. But you didn't even take care of your own dang on kids. Your own kids that came to the house. I lived with his mama. So it was like really, really strange to me. Like, you don't have that close relationship with your own biological kids. And I always tried to get in his mind or ask questions, because I've always, you know, was outspoken as a child, but then I also was told, stay in your place. Right? So we never really got in depth, but here, most men like to blame things. I want to say men and women, because it go both ways.
Yes,
they blame things on the other partner. So my stepdaddy blamed my mama. My mama blamed my stepdaddy as to why certain things didn't go the way it did. But like I said, it's always a story behind the story, because the real story lies between that middle part. Then you go into when I grew up, I had Jaden. I told my biological, that's when I reconnected with my biological father. I tried to get a relationship with him. So that's why I say write something down, because you can run into your father years from now, right? So you run into them years from now, and you can ask those hard questions, because at one point I asked my biological father certain questions, and he kind of answered them, but a lot of questions weren't clear to me, you know? So, you know, like, I kept pushing that relationship on him, because I reached out to him. Hey, I'm finna have a baby. Oh, well, good for you. I hung up the phone. All right, so 3 years later, you know, can you watch my son? You know, I'm like, kind of like, okay, I'm gonna invite you to my son's birthday party. I think Jaden was like, 3 or 4 or something. I invited my biological father, so I guess he ended up having a better relationship with my son versus me. My son was able to meet his mother and my auntie. I never met them. I just met them when I moved back to St. Louis in 2021.
Oh wow.
And that's like really, really crazy because when I met her, she said, as a kid, I always wanted to know who you were. You was the only daughter. He had 2 other kids. He took care of them. So I understand exactly where y'all coming from as far as like, because I have both of them, both worlds, and it's like real kind of effed up because you always want to know like why you did what you did. So once I asked him, why weren't you in my life? He blamed it on my mama. And sometimes it is the woman who kind of push kids away, push the adult away from their child to get to know their child because women be wanting a relationship.
We've seen it.
But then they don't even want to, sit up there and...
We've seen it in real life.
They don't want that crap.
And I love that you just said that, Brittany. All of
know,
that,
right?
Because
I'm gonna
we just talked about that, and I just said your grandparents probably would love to meet you. And just don't even have the opportunity. Like, you probably got cousins that you would rock and roll with, I didn't get to rock and roll with mine till I was older, and we rock and roll. Like, I called my cousins, what I'm saying, on my dad's side, It's, I'm glad you shared that because the Angels Online, we connect youth and adults in open dialogue because we're trying to help you navigate through life now so you can be more successful and productive citizens in the community later on. So you can learn how to deal with all these things, so you can get an idea, so you can get a perspective, so you can see that other people went through what you went through, but we all sitting right here at this table. And we're sitting here with you. We're sitting here with you because our job is to help you. It takes a village, right? Your parents probably can't have this conversation. They probably never had this type of conversation. They probably didn't have this dialogue. Another reason why we went above and beyond. I was like, no, we're going to school. We finna learn. We finna do this. We finna elevate. We finna be up here. We finna see how we can help the community. We finna see how we can do better. We finna see. She gonna praise God. She gonna do blessed. She gonna pray. She wake up and do her prayer call in the morning. Look here. Look here. Okay. The Angels Online. We gonna have a good time. I'm so proud. You don't know how proud of you I am. Lord Jesus, I'm just so proud of you, girl. All of y'all are so wonderful. But before I ask her something else, I'm gonna let Terry. She wanted to say something that was Brittany.
To add what you said, like relationships. So though my mother got along with my father's side of the family, I learned some history afterward, and so we moved around a lot. And when we moved around a lot, like I used to think, man, they not asking about me. Like, why my granny ain't? My mama didn't keep in contact with them. So it wasn't until one day I was sitting at Fanning Middle and I got called out of the principal's office and I don't get in trouble for nothing. And my grandmother done showed up to the school.
Come on.
And was crying in the office and was saying how much she hadn't seen me. She just heard I went to this school and she was just begging the principal because she see her grandbaby. So at some point I stopped allowing my mother to be the person who was the middleman between this and that. And like, I have a daughter now, though I'm no longer married to her father. A lot of times they're like, well, why you put him? Ain't no such thing as putting a child off on a father or a mother. It's parenting. It's hard being a mama. It's hard. And so I'm like, hey, Quentin, come get her. But in this particular case, in the terms of an absence, as you are growing and you're making mental notes of what type of man you want to be, when you get older, don't allow nobody else. You go find them. You old enough, figure it out. Because the last thing you want is to live with regret. And you're only in the 8th grade, But when y'all get a little bit older, say, listen, I'm going to find a name. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do X, Y, and Z. Because you do compensation one if he work.
Look.
That's one thing.
Come on.
You do compensation. But the other side of that is you do answers also. And so don't live through life like trying to figure it out when it's probably a conversation that needs to be had. So find it out and get his name, and ain't nothing wrong with looking in the We used to have the yellow pages. It was a big old book, and you used to have
The white pages.
The white pages.
Yellow was business, white was
and the white, and it was you look by the last name. You see what I'm saying? And you used to call. You could call Susie up. You can call James up.
So and so.
James Earl. Is this James Earl?
Yep.
So you gonna call, but just come up with some questions and say, listen, you're gonna figure out a whole lot that you may not know. It's gonna have a lot of gaps, and you're gonna be like, oh wow. So that's why, and that's how come. And this, so don't be so hard on yourself now because you're young, but that relationship building, it's going to teach you how to build relationships. It's going to teach you how to be an effective man. It's going to teach you how to be an effective communicator. Twin, you okay?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not y'all fault at all. Y'all not the problem at all. It's not. But I do advocate for writing it down. Don't stop to reach out. But it comes a point when it comes a time when maybe, just gotta shrug your shoulders and be like, I give up. So like a little bit more in depth, like I moved back to St. Louis. I lived with my biological father who allowed me to stay with him. He ended up putting me and my son out for what? I only stayed with him for a few months during COVID, and he thought my son touched something and one of his, I don't know, whatever. But he ended up putting us out. So at that point, I'm like, F it. But then that's when I met his sister. His sister told me, I don't know why he hid you from me. You was a whole police officer. A lot of people, so when I bring up your name, everybody know. The only thing that's good that he did for me was made a trust fund for me. So when I got out of high school, I had a lot of money. So that's the only thing that came out of that. But I mean, don't stop. You gotta write that stuff down, and when it comes time, you just ask them questions.
Mm-hmm. And she said write stuff when she said write it down. You don't even have to write your feelings down. She's saying just write anything. Those questions that Terry just said. You see, we listen to what each other is saying, right? And we listening clearly to what you guys are saying. And a lot of scenarios are similar, right? Yeah. And so now your job is to take the information, take the dialogue, utilize your voice, and be positive and productive moving forward, right? So you can start jotting down stuff or whatever. I got questions. Nowadays you got the DNA test, and I'm gonna tell you, I do not know. I know. So my mom's side, I know my grandma and my grandpa. I know my great grand. You know what I mean? I never got to meet. I went to her funeral, Elizabeth. And I know a lot of my cousins and everything. Now on my dad's side, I have my grandmother and my great grandmother. So my great grandmother, I call her grandma. That's the one that passed away. But her side, them Ramseys, and my great grandpa, I have him. That's his family out there in Mississippi. But I do not know who my dad's father is. And I keep telling, I'm like, I want to know who that is. Who is my grandpa? And my grandma has dementia, so she doesn't know. So I'm like, I'm going to do a DNA test. Because I want to know who my granddaddy is. You know what I mean?
Well, like 23andMe.
Like I said,
Ancestry.
The answer, whatever it is, but I want to do that because I can now.
And you're determined to do it.
I can buy, exactly. I'm determined. I can buy a kit, and I can put it in there, and some stuff gonna pop up somewhere. I'm gonna find a cousin from somewhere, and he might be in Nicaragua somewhere living. I don't know. He might be
60% Nigerian.
Look here.
I'm just telling you now.
Might be in Africa.
Yeah.
Might be in. Look here.
Listen, we got Ghanaian. We're from Mali, girl.
I want to find them.
Listen, we Nigerian, girl. So next time we Nigerian. You better, cousin. I'm telling you the truth.
The princesses. We princesses around here.
We from the Africans.
And got Indian. My great grandma told me that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I heard Big Mama, Walter Ramsey. She said that. Mm-hmm. So we gonna close it out. I'm just gonna say just a few things. So I was gonna ask what challenges do young teens face, but y'all just told us some of these challenges that y'all face. You just told us. Jemiah had everybody crying. But how you feeling now? Like after this conversation, after addressing your father on the phone call, after having your mom and your stepdad in your corner help you, therapy and all of that. How are you feeling right now as you're getting ready to enter high school? It don't gotta be perfect. Just how you feeling right now. Some things. Are you content? Are you okay? Are you still a work in progress to get through that?
I'm not really in the work in progress, but I'm still kind of trying to adapt.
Get used to it.
Yeah,
There you go. Adapt.
Yeah.
That's a good word to use. Adapt to it all.
And so, but overall, I'm good.
You ready for high school?
Yeah.
What you nervous about in high school?
I mean, I'm not really nervous because I got family up there, so it's just like ain't nothing really to be nervous about.
And you a basketball player.
Yeah.
Jemiah gonna go be the star. Hey, she ain't no joke.
I can't wait to come see her.
She ain't no joke.
Go, Jemiah, go, girl.
Lord, yeah,
For real.
Hazelwood West.
Oh, really?
Block. I'm like, block. Put your hands up on defense, girl. Put your hands up.
Look at here.
And I'm gonna check on y'all too.
Yes.
Yeah, y'all right down. Well, y'all
What
down
challenges?
around the
What
corner.
challenges you think in high school? You ready for high school?
I've been ready for high school.
That's what I'm talking about. Look at, I'm
I've
ready.
been ready.
Head
Throughout
up,
the whole
chest out.
summer, it was getting boring. All this free time.
Go to the library, read some books
Listen, library is free. They got a lot of free stuff you can do.
Yeah, we
Good.
was.
every day.
Good,
Go, just
good.
read. Just read.
Good.
Yeah, because they really ain't gonna teach you what you really read.
It's a lot. Read yourself.
Yeah, but they
Get some
teaching you in
information that you
school,
see.
ain't
And Jamai, can I tell you something? I don't know if you do this already, but like send videos. Everybody isn't like a texter. So like this, like the same way you build a relationship with your friends and you text them all day, I would bug my father. If I had the opportunity, out 1,000 text messages. Like I promise, I used to text my grandpa all the time. He was in his 70s. He was like, Terry, I'm not a texter. But eventually he became to be one. He said, well, since that's how you communicate, but just send text messages. You know, when it comes to that relationship, not stepping over mom and dad, but just the same way you want to build a relationship. And then if you feel like he spent more time, he's just with them every day. On the outside, you may seem like that, but it's not mental. So when you get there, just like have a list of questions. Have your questions out and say, listen, we going on a daddy-daughter date. Go to your favorite restaurant. These are things I like to do. They can come too, but you make yourself the center. Not the center of attention, but sometimes where we put other people in front of us just by default. Like, I don't want to walk on no eggshells. No, you show up as the main character.
Come on.
When y'all get to high school, show up as the main character. Don't sit, don't. And that's what I had to do. I grew up on the south side. I went to school on the north side. I graduated from the Charles Sumner High School.
Oh, gosh.
First black high school west of the Mississippi River. Yeah, act like you know.
Who were you in the high school?
Oh, what wasn't I? Class president, homecoming queen. What else? What else? Captain of the basketball team.
Look here.
I was on everything. Everything coming and going from 2000 to 2020 to 2004. You walk in, you would never know I had lacked anything because it was excellence daily.
And I say it all the time. You would never know.
And I had a very supportive mom. My mom, our mom, them Turners, you get a Turner as your mama. She gonna have your back.
That's one thing my mom did.
They crazy.
She was young.
They crazy. They are crazy.
But in high school,
mamas are crazy.
She got
Okay.
the shirt for me that I needed. I had a brand new pair of basketball shoes. She couldn't come to all the games. I was far. She didn't like driving on that highway. You know what I'm saying? But you have to give credit where credit's due in that aspect of growing up or whatever. I was on student council. I was homecoming queen.
Let your light shine.
My mama went and watched me.
Let your light shine. When y'all walk into that high school, do you hear me? Turn that negative into a positive.
Yeah.
That's all we saying.
I'm always positive.
As you should.
Turn your pain into purpose.
That's it.
That's
Walk
the
in
next
power and purpose. Gone.
Turn
What
your
was that?
pain
Say that
into
again,
purpose.
sister. Pain into purpose. Okay.
That's my next tattoo.
And from the Kid King, she said, walk in your power and your purpose.
Right.
That's right.
I got
That's
one
right.
last question. How can parents, this is for you guys, if you have any idea, how can parents, educators, and communities better support teenagers like yourself who are dealing with the absence, and in this sense, all of you guys are dealing with the absence of a biological father and working, how can parents educate, how can we help?
Okay.
Okay.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Tyrone.
Let's go first.
I don't really got nothing right now, but I'm gonna think about it. So I'm gonna pass it to Tyrell real quick.
Okay, baby.
Okay, so what I was thinking about is like, a lot of times you're at school or you're at work, and a lot of times you're with grown, adults a lot. I feel like I wouldn't say therapy, but like someone to talk to inside the school.
Therapy.
Yeah, like therapy
That's
that can
crucial.
work, or like just someone to call or talk to when you really need it.
There you go.
A lot of times you can't rely on people your age because a lot of times they don't.
They won't understand.
Yeah, they don't. Because then it's like they say something stupid.
Yep.
They're like,
Yeah.
walk it off. Talk about
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Just like,
And then the thing is, you only have what, one counselor per 200
Exactly.
kids.
Exactly. And then it's like,
They need a hotline.
right, and then it's like a lot of the hotlines nowadays like not for they for like suicide and stuff
Yeah,
like that.
not
So
that
it's
type
not.
of
And some of the teachers,
hotline
I think
doesn't
some of the
talk.
teachers don't have that. They're there to teach, but
They're-
that background and that reality and that what word am I looking for?
It's culturally responsive.
Come on, yes.
Sometimes they
don't understand.
Yeah, they don't understand.
And they don't look to understand either.
Exactly.
They just trying to focus on that, and I've
And
seen
sometimes
it.
they don't know. They can't relate
Correct.
yet.
That's the word I was looking for. They can't relate.
Yeah.
So they don't know. It's not a conversation that they've had before. You know what I'm saying? So they blind to it.
Exactly.
So you can't blame them, and you wait for
no.
somebody to come in, and you hope that they can, do, just like little assignments that I would do when I was in the school for these kids. I'm like, man, ain't nobody asking these questions. Ain't nobody,
And I'm taking notes.
That's
As an
why
educator.
when it comes to school and things like that, you can't just tell anybody.
Yep.
There got to be somebody who understands what you're going through. Because if you just say it to anybody, then they say the same thing everybody else telling you. Oh, go talk to. Oh, they like tell you to go talk to somebody else. Like kids with our problem, we will talk to each other, but you won't know that because kids don't talk about that. That's something really personal.
Mm-hmm.
Like they cry at night over, or they sit and they really think about it. So it's like when it comes down to who should I talk to about not having a father and the pain that I felt, it can't always be a kid your age, but most of the time it can because they're around you more than other
And that's
people.
all you got.
Exactly, it's the people around you. So when it comes to adults who aren't your parent or who aren't your family member, and you want to talk to them or something like that, they wouldn't understand unless they're going through the thing or they've went through that thing and they've learned and built from it. So
You feel like they should have more help in the schools.
exactly,
I can agree with
because
that.
because if you don't, one day you could break down in school.
Yep.
Or like you in the bathroom and you get a call from a family member and say, oh, like
Something happened.
well, like your cousin passed away. Why you at school?
They remember that.
And you wouldn't even
They remember that.
and you wouldn't
My mama called me while I was at school, and I left out. I cried. I was, look at that. He remembered that.
So,
That was
like-
last September.
So like
Oh, man.
it's like when you sit there and think about it, it's like can't nobody relate to except for the people that have already gone through it or they're going through it with
Yep.
you.
Like siblings.
Exactly, but a lot, as I said before, family won't always be around you.
Mm-hmm. Correct.
So a lot of times you're at school, or we're getting older because we're almost old enough to work. You're gonna be at work all the time,
Mm-hmm.
so you won't have nobody to be there for you except for the people around you.
Mm-hmm. You can't talk to just everybody.
Exactly.
You gotta find people to
Well,
trust.
actually, there are some resources that you like the Eastern Missouri mental health. Like they have something for teens. There are resources for you.
Schools need to post these things.
Well,
because-
this is just the mental health of Missouri Eastern. But your
Eastern
school,
Missouri
every
District.
counselor is a therapist. I'm gonna tell you that now. So if you ever need to just check yourself in, there's a document that your parent has to sign after the first session. But you can go to therapy. Like it's not. But if you want therapy, you can get it for free at your school.
Yeah.
You go talk to your counselor and you tell them like, listen, and a therapist will come. There are certified therapists that come during your school hour. It may not be during like your math or your reading time, but it'll be like it may be during an elective. But there are therapists that you can get. You see what I'm saying? It's free therapy.
Yeah.
So if you know, like, hey, going into high school, I know I'm gonna need this. And it's just support. It's just an outlet. It's someone to talk to. It's someone to affirm your thoughts. It's someone to give you self-help, self-love tips. Because that's what it is. You just got to learn to love yourself. Self-care. What does that look like? How to, I always say, like, when you don't have these outlets and these people and these mentors, the good go bad. And when you don't have outlets, you start hanging out with the bad kids. Like, I just want to be loved. I just want to fit in.
Mm-hmm.
So you get to skipping and doing the wrong thing.
And thinking that that's love, and then something happened or whatever, and that's and that's, you know, I can't reach every child. You know what I mean? We can't reach every child, you know, and everything. And I see it. Everybody want to be loved, and they're not getting that in the house. So they're gonna try to find it wherever they can get it, but it might not be the best thing for them.
Yeah.
And then once you get to a certain age, say you get to high school, by that time now you falling behind in high school, and so now what? You tired? You like, man, wait a minute, I Tyrell a junior and I'm still a freshman, and we win together. Da da da. Guess what? What you just say? Y'all old enough to work. Now I'm gonna drop
don't
out.
vape. Do not vape. I'm just telling you.
Definitely not.
Don't vape.
No.
I don't care. I don't care who passing the vape around in bathrooms. I see it all the time.
Terrible.
At the high school. Just do not vape. You hear me?
Okay, but
I know.
I'm gonna piggyback
I'm not
off
trying to
what,
harm
off,
my
of, off of what
lungs.
Miss Ramsey said. I'm gonna piggyback off what you said, Miss Ramsey.
Yes, sir.
Because when it comes down to kids you around, when it's like, oh, don't smoke, don't be around the bad kids or the bad influences. But a lot of times people need to learn how to deal with it, you know? Not saying it's not okay to be upset or cry all the time, but a lot of times in certain situations you have to push through it. It's not just always, oh, I'm sad, or I'm mad, I'm finna get mad and break something, I'm finna get mad, yell at somebody, curse somebody out.
You have to find a coping mechanism.
Exactly. You gotta find something to calm you down.
That's exactly
Right,
that's,
exactly.
That's,
Like how she listen.
Y'all prepared.
Like how she copes with basketball. He copes with art. Like we have things to cope with.
Mm-hmm.
And
people need to find ways
exactly.
to cope. That's
people.
But that's what counselors and that's what they're here for. To find interventions. You know, help find ways to cope. Let's talk about it. Some people cope with what'd you say? What'd you say? How you cope?
Oh, right now my poems.
Exactly right here. Like she writes poems.
So everyone here
she does
copes
sports.
with a
He does.
habit that they love
He does art.
most.
But
Positivity.
but it's like at the end of the day,
multisensory.
right? At the end of the day, it's you though.
Yep. It always comes down to you.
Right. But
remember, everybody don't operate on the same channel, same agenda. And some people, it takes longer because their mind might take longer to adjust. They might be dealing with birth defects. They might be dealing with their own disabilities. There's a lot of stuff that comes with all of those things. Yeah, we got to push through, but everybody ain't as fast as the next person.
Or even instability.
Correct.
Like you'll be surprised. Well, just the numbers. Like before COVID, I knew at the high school that over 65% of our students were like immobile, like at any moment, like they could be one paycheck away from being homeless. And so that number only skyrocketed during COVID.
Because you couldn't really do anything.
Well, not necessarily that you
because of
couldn't
the
do.
job. They weren't,
their
what's
parents,
the word?
they lived in poverty.
Yeah,
like,
they already was in poverty. Then COVID, then everything shuts down. So some people ain't got no jobs. You can't go out.
And survival skills, like Maslow's hierarchy of need, like the basic is shelter, food, water. So if you don't have those basics, I can't focus on coping on nothing. I'm mad at everybody. And I'm angry at everything. And I'm coming to school and I'm mad. I'm just mad at the world. Because I can't eat, or I don't have this, or my mama can't work, and her food stamps. Like, it's real life happens.
So not only that, people had to go virtual for a while, right? Yeah. Everybody don't have Wi-Fi at home.
No.
Everybody don't have internet. So it's all these stipulations that come with stuff like that. And remember I said earlier, you have to have empathy. You have to watch what you say to people because you don't know what they're really going through. And like you said, and you also said earlier, kids won't talk to other kids because they don't want it to be personal, right?
Yeah.
So we answering all of our questions just in this dialogue, So that's something that we really have to think about. So I want last but not least, anything else that you want to say?
I love y'all and I'm so proud of y'all. And I'm here as an advocate for you. I'll make sure you have my information and we're here for you. And we rocking.
I appreciate it.
It take a village.
Yeah.
Yes.
Head up, chest out. All right? Like we gonna get y'all through the finish line. And beyond.
Come on.
As long as I have breath, I got you.
You've been doing. I ain't lied to you yet, have I? Well, I tell you.
So what everyone's trying to say here is right now that people can go through things, but you gotta find the right people to trust. And together, anybody can get through anything that's like going.
Anything.
Not anything, but like
anything. Nothing is impossible with him. Nothing is impossible. Nothing.
Nothing's impossible without
Him.
Like without him or without the right people around you.
Your
Yeah,
village.
your
And
village.
at the end of the day, trust is the biggest thing when it comes to friendships and relationships.
Mhm.
If I can sit here and I can trust people with what I know and what I believe in, then it should be mutual. Shouldn't be one sided.
We here for you.
Exactly.
And
And I
you-
just like I'm here for everybody else.
Mhm.
Everyone's
So
here for
what
you
I'm gonna
too.
say is,
Mhm.
the conversation was good. You know, it was very deep, but we got through it together.
Wonderful.
I can
Wonderful.
agree with
Oh, I'm
that
sorry.
together.
Yes.
Everyone been saying how they felt right now. Everyone been saying solutions for every one of the problems, like all together. So we're trying to find ways to help motivate each other and bring everyone towards like a path of success, a path to
Come on.
bring everybody up.
Motivate, influence, and
It's a
inspire.
thing.
Angels Online. Jamal, you got anything? What you want to say, babe? What you want to say?
Then I'm glad I actually got all this stuff off my chest and I could trust people with it.
Wonderful. We
Yeah.
here for you.
And
We
you got
here
that.
for you.
Now you got the angels online helping each other.
Look at you. Brittany, what you want to say?
I just want to tell you guys that if you can find someone to talk to or you need an outlet, like, again, write it down. Turn your pain into purpose.
Yeah.
Just, it's okay when you want to get in the shower, you cry. It's okay to cry.
Come on.
Ain't nothing wrong with crying.
Look here.
But when you get out that shower, you put your clothes on, you open that door, baby. Hold your
Fresh.
head high.
Brand new.
Don't let other people influence you bad. Give you bad influence. You your own person.
Yes.
You gotta go
Okay.
around the right
Mhm.
people.
You gotta know your right people.
Yes.
Yeah.
What about you,
Listen.
Mr. MC?
I seem like I got some.
This is
good-
Angels
good
Online,
kids.
voice of the unheard. All I want to say is I thank everybody for being a part of this. Okay? It really furthered my purpose and what I was talking about, what I do with the Angels Online, and it further goes with Martha's Angels, my nonprofit. The Angels Online Voice of the Unheard is here to give a voice in connecting youth and adults in open dialogue, and that's what we did. We put all our experiences on the table. You guys were able to relate to adults, and you didn't think you could. A lot of people don't know that they can, right? So I want y'all to know to hold y'all heads up high, keep going, just like you can now. You call me, you keep going, you keep crying, all those things. Strive for greatness. Be great in all that you do. Go around the people you feel comfortable with. Go around the people you can trust. Pick the right group of friends. It's okay to say, hey man, I can't do that right now. I'm not about that. That's not what I do. It's okay to say that. It's okay to walk away from negativity and walk into positivity. It's okay to walk with that artist down the hallway. It's okay to walk with that person that glasses that study photography. It's okay to be friends with everybody. Somebody is somebody's angel. This is the Angels Online. We were your angels just as well as you were ours today. Being able to tell your story. Now, before we end my episode, y'all know this episode is called Strength in Absence. Everybody here has shown strength in absence of a father, a mother, whoever it was. It's strength and they're striving. Before we go, everybody has to give a good people. And we gonna start with Tyrell. We gonna start with you, man. You little outspoken little man. Come on. Give me a good people. And you better say it with your chest, boy.
Good people, good people.
All right, you all right. Come on.
Good people.
All right. Jemiah, what you got?
Good people.
Oh, my goodness. Come on, Brittany.
Good people.
You got to give them. Oh, woo. Boy, she almost got me ready. All right. Terry, come on, give me some.
Good people.
Here she go, y'all. Here she go. Hey, season 4, episode 2. Strength in Absence. You can find us on YouTube, Apple, Spotify, wherever you want to look. And you know what I'm going to leave you with, baby. Good people. You